Lacrosse Legends. Lacrosse Legends, a comprehensive look at America's greatest game, featuring legends past, present, and future. Today on Lacrosse Legends, we have a conversation with Morgan State University legend Donnie Brown.
Coach Donnie M. Brown, known to most in the lacrosse world as Coach Donnie. Brown played for Morgan State University from 1977 to 1981, but his greatest impact came to the game of lacrosse after college. Brown has had quite a hand in growing the game of lacrosse. Lacrosse Legends caught up with Coach Donnie at the New York Lacrosse Academy Summer Showcase.
I played high school lacrosse at Baltimore City College in Baltimore, Maryland, class of 76.
You attended Morgan State from 1977 to 1981, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Why Morgan State?
Well, being the little kid that I was, but I was all speed and all muscle, I didn't get a whole lot of offers. The coach of Morgan asked me one thing: do you want a chance to play for the only all-black college lacrosse team in the world? So that was it. That's all I needed. I was actually an attackman, got to college, and because I was so fast, coach moved me to the midfield. So I had to learn the game all over again.
You played after Mendoza Wallace. Mendoza, Aaron Glover, George Kelly played in 1975. And we had spoke with them. They had a philosophy of defense first.
That's right.
Did that carry over when you played?
To this day. One thing as a coach, I always teach, you cannot play offense unless you play defense. I always ask the question, who plays defense? Everybody better raise their hand. Because the object is just one ball, defend your goal, get that ball, and put in other team's goal. You can't play offense unless you defend your goal and defend your half the field and own the ball.
There's not as many guys giving back to the game as when we were coming up. Yeah, my dad, Coach Donnie, Sean Markley, Roy Castor, Coach Mert, a whole bunch of guys who came from that era, that Morgan State era. Once they got old enough, they gave back to the game.
Yes, we just met with Lance Carter and Sean Church, and Lance was speaking very highly of you. He said how you came back to the game, guys like you, Lloyd Carter, you've always come back to Baltimore and given back to the game.
Yes, it's real important because we grew up in a time in the 70s, we didn't have a lot of people to give to us. We had to find out and figure out a way on our own. So when we got into position, it was time for us to give back, because, once you get to the top of the mountain, it's your responsibility to reach back and help someone else get there and to teach them to do the same thing. That is the only way there's going to be growth. It's not about me, it's what we going to do for each other. Saying in our quote-unquote lacrosse family, it's a Bible passage. 2 Thessalonians 3:10. A man that does not work shall not eat. So if you want to eat, you better put some work in. And when you go to work, you don't work by yourself. You work as a team. This is a creative game. You take care of each other. It's just like you're taught to take care of the land and the trees and the animals and everything else, but you still got to take care of each other. And that's how we take care of each other. As I reach back, help somebody else, my job is to teach them, be the usher to open the door for them, to turn them into an usher to open the door for the next one.
Mendoza Wallace speaks very highly of you. He speaks very highly of your generosity. He spoke very highly of you and your generosity towards the game. How you literally helped springboard the Hempstead PAL program by your donations and contributions.
Well, I was blessed. One thing I've learned from my mother before she passed, when you're given a gift, it's only good if you can give that gift away. I was blessed by STX. Back in the 90s, they had all this stuff in the warehouse. They heard about me. They came and gave me all this donations, and my job was to go out and seek out people who needed, and help these programs. So all it was is, look, if you want to play, give me a call. You need equipment, give me a call. I was that kid back in the late 60s, the early 70s. I had to scrape together those pennies, nickels, and dimes to go get my little piece of equipment. Parents was like, okay, you got two choices. You can play lacrosse or you can eat. We're going to eat. So I had to go get it on my own. So now got in the position that if kids stick break, I can say, hey, give me that. Give him a brand new one. It cost me a dime, and he's happy. And I said, you don't owe me anything. Your job is help the next person.
I would say on behalf of Hempstead, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I also heard you helped the Brooklyn
Admirals, gave them all their equipment to get them started. Just like the tournament today, we brought a lot of kids up from Baltimore to play with the Brooklyn kids, and we were going to tournaments, and they were doing well. And they was like, matter of fact, Lance Carter was one of those kids. Okay, there's some kids from here that look like me. I didn't know they played, and they get together, and they friends for kids.
Next on Lacrosse Legends. You're watching Lacrosse Legends.
The kids. Brett Brown met down in Baltimore at one of the games, and I was working out with some kids, just shooting on the goal. And he saw the talent level, and we got to talking, and he asked me to bring some kids up to come play in this tournament. I got on the phone, called a lot of kids that used to play for me that are playing in a lot of MIA private schools, and here we are. Have stick, have bag, we'll travel. Let's go. Let's get it.
Your greatest memory of Morgan State?
Whoa. It has to be two. One, I was fortunate enough to score the winning goal to beat Notre Dame in overtime. Number two, I got to my freshman year when I got moved from the attack to the midfield. I got to play with two All-Americans. Joe Folks, who was the Nation League scorer, and another guy named Tony Ford, who used to shoot the ball so hard. We literally told the game, every game, tell them when 22 shoots, you have to check the net. If we told you to win it. And it was just an honor to play with those guys.
How would you fare in today's game if you played today?
I still do play, so that's not a question for me. All right, I still play. I'm going on 63 years old. I play on the different club teams, like these different tournaments. I play in the 60s, 55s, the 50s, and the 40s. So I still play. But the one thing I have learned, when you're older, you're not as fast as you were, but you learn to be smarter. So when I played with these young guys, they joke and say, "Oh man," but then if I played offense at the end of the game, when I got 3 or 4 goals, 2 or 3 assists, they look at me different. And I also pick up a long pole because I know how most offenses run. I was like, I'm not going to chase you all over the field. I know what you can ready to do before you do it. I'm just going to stand here and wait, pick my moments, and I get the ball going downfield, so I don't have to run. Let's play smart. I think the ceiling's really, really high. For one, because what you're doing now is video. I told people years ago, video will change this game because the recruiting is not about the coaches going out, sitting out in the sun and all these recruiting tournaments. They want to see the video. All right, when you see the video, because I've coached from 3-year-olds to 40-year-olds, and when you see the video, okay, that's you break it down from there. You might have 100 videos. You break that down to 50. Coaches sit down, break that down to about 10. Okay, you go look at these 5. You go look at these 5. Have a prospect hand come in there. That's what changed the game. And because of the videos, you get to see more and more African American and other people, other races and cultures playing this game with high level of degree of skill and IQ. These young kids are seeing that online. They see that online and they go practice it. Case in point, I got a nephew. I got a nephew that's 9 years old. I got a nephew at 9 years old got better stick skills than most high school kids. Because he's sitting around watching YouTube. He's watching all these games. He watches his older brother, who's a phenomenal player, and his father and myself and other guys is around. So he's picking that stuff up. So if he can do stuff at 9 years old that these kids can't do at 17, that whole group of 9 years old, when they become 17, guess what's going to happen to that next group of 9 years behind them, seeing them playing? Because it's just a progression. It's a ladder. It's just one step at a time. It's not going to happen overnight. But in the future, oh yeah, it's really bright. For case in point, the kids out here playing now with the urban lacrosse line. These guys came up there to ball, and there was some kids that were really good that couldn't make it. But the kids out here, they leaving a mark on the field. You filming it, other people filming it, somebody's going to see it. I want to be that, because one thing I told at the U.S. Lacrosse Convention many years ago, when they were talking about this division of having the inner city kids just playing each other, I said, no. You've got to intermingle. If you don't see good lacrosse, you don't know good lacrosse. Now, you have these club teams that you had 1 or 2 black kids on them. Down to you get 3, 4, but you still, but when you bring all of them together, like this team, it becomes a real showcase. And I was fortunate enough in the beginning, the early years of club in the 90s, put a team together from Baltimore. We went up to Buffalo, New York. They kind of teased us at first, but when we beat everybody by 15, 20 goals per game, all that joking stopped. They knew we were legitimate. And these kids, and from that point on, they knew they could play with anybody, anywhere. So, that was before the age of videos and internet. Now, with the internet and the videos, it's game changing. So, so this is what, 2021? Give it 5 years. I guarantee you, give it 5 years. Because right now, if you turn on television, you see more and more black and brown legs out there. Sooner, in about 5 years, you're going to see half the team going to be brown and black. Because the coach is not dumb. Coach realized, look, this kid is the better athlete. He got phenomenal stick skills. He has grades. I need him. All right? Analogy was football in the South. Back in the days when they just wanted the African-American players playing down there. Bear Bryant played with USC, got their butts kicked, and then they say, now you see what you need. The culture changed. And which also at the same time, it hurt the HBCUs because, they didn't have the money to compete. I'm telling kids, okay, you can go here and be all right, to go here and live like a king. That's where they're going. So that's the future of the game is going. But you also need good coaches. All right, and not only good coaches, you need teachers. Because not everybody that coaches is a good teacher. Not everybody that teaches that destined to be a coach. You gotta have somebody that's gonna coach, but at the same time, you gotta have good teachers. And if you see really good programs, the head coach, he just pretty much take care of the paperwork. His assistants, they have a job. They, like Bill Belichick said, do your job. Your job, you teach this group, you teach this group, you teach this group, I'll take care of the paperwork. And then if got somebody arguing the rest, I'll argue with the rest. You do your job. So that's what if you got a team, you got one coach, he can't do everything. It's hard. If he tries, it's hard. I've been there. But when you got a staff, you got assistants, and everybody's on their job. Okay, you work with defense, you work with attack, you work with the midfields. I want you to do this on the extra man, this on the man down. You work with the goalies. You need to break it down to them. So it looks good. Say 5 years.
What is your message to the only whatever on the team?
Ooh. Got it. That's a tough one. Because because I've been there many times. And basically, you got to outplay everybody because if you make one mistake, it's magnified 10 times better more than anybody else. So when you go out there, every ground ball, every pass, every shot, every cut, every defensive stand, you got to just leave it on the field. You got to let it leave no doubt that you belong on the field because there's always going to be somebody trying to find a reason why you don't belong out there. And, you got to turn your haters into your motivators. You got to let them know. Not only am I here, I belong here. The question is, do you belong on the field with me? That's the kind of attitude that you don't verbalize, but you got to have that confidence and attitude, and that comes from going and putting that work in. Don't work, you don't eat. Same thing. Go put in that work, so when you step on the field, they know I come to play. And actually, for a while, for a long time, I wore the number 13. The number 13 because when I come on the field, you got bad luck. It's that simple, that was it. I had to have that attitude, and it came from being the only African American playing on all these all-white teams. So I had to have that attitude. It's like, you're going to have a bad day. That 13 ain't bad luck for me, it's bad luck for you. Now, I'm wearing it, you the one to see it. If you see it, come. So if I'm dodging, if I'm cutting, if I'm playing defense, and especially on the ground balls, I'm just a demon. It's like, if the ball's on the ground, it's my ball. I'm offended if you touch my ball. Can't let that happen. Because if I got the ball, you can't score. That means we usually win.
What is your message to a young man who knows he's play attack, but he's given a long pole instead?
Go on the internet and see what Nancy Reagan said. Just say no. That's simple. But now that's a double-edged sword because there's two sides to it. I see it not only as from the player side, but I see it from the coach's side. All right, because I've done everything at this game. As a coach, you need defensive midfielders. You need those good long throws midfielders. And those people are usually the best athletes on the field or on the team. And who's usually the best athletes on the team? That's just the way it is. As a matter of fact, there's a kid out here playing today who's an attackman. I was coaching him on a club team. I moved him to defense because I needed him in the defense. I had a whole lot of attackmen. I didn't have the defenseman, and he filled the role, and I said, I'll just bear with me right now. We get through the season because I need you at D, and then next year I moved him back to the attack. He's naturally left-handed. He played the right-handed attackman. You shut him down because as an attackman, he knew what attackman moves were, and he had physicality to shut down these attackmen. Now, going back to the kids that should be playing an offense, and the coach trying to put that D stick in their hand, say no. No. So no, that's not what I'm here for. No, they said if you don't value my talent, I will go someplace else. It's that simple. And eventually, what you do is show them what you missed. You had the opportunity to have me here. You didn't want me here. You wanted to do something else. That didn't work. I want somebody else. So every time I step on the field with you, my plan is to destroy you.
What's in the future for Mr. Donnie Brown?
Well, I plan to play out this year. Then I'm gonna get my knees operated on. I had bad knees for the last 40 years, and I just want to go travel and just watch and encourage and push these guys and let them know. Look, I stood on somebody else's shoulders. You stood on mine, and you stand on theirs. So we all stand on each other's shoulders. And someday, I want them to know that you got to stand there for somebody else to stand on your shoulders. Because as I said earlier, we all got to keep making each other better. And the greatest way to do that is to come together, because it's always strength in numbers. All right. If a kid can see me in a tournament in Florida, see me in Maryland, see me in New York, and instead of getting the same message, and especially first and foremost, it's academics. First part of scholar athlete, scholar. If you're not a scholar, you do not belong on the field at all. No scholar, no athlete. So if you're academically sound and you will put in that work and you start to get raised up, get to the next level, it's now your responsibility to reach back and have that next one on it. I want to be around to watch that. All right, I may not, but if I am, I want to sit there and do it. I'm working on my gut, and be happy. Be happy watching them.
I want you to know that the generosity and your kindness has not gone unnoticed, sir.
So thank you.
Thank you very much for what you've done through this game, and we'll keep an eye out for you on the lacrosse field.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Coach Donnie.
This is Monsanto Muzak for Lacrosse Legends.